Okay, some people would advise us that there may be realities so frightening or so discouraging and demoralizing that we would be better off not knowing anything about them. However, it is nearly always more advantageous to face the facts with which we must deal than to remain ignorant of them. That was a quote by Professor Harry G. Frankfurt, professor of philosophy at Princeton University. I had two very closely related questions, and I couldn't decide if I should make one video with both of them in it somehow, or if I should just make two videos. But I decided I'm just gonna do this one, and next week we will have a very closely related sort of follow-up question to this one. The question today is ignorance bliss? Now, the quote by Professor Frankfurt didn't actually say that ignorance wasn't bliss. It just said that ignorance wasn't advantageous. It didn't specify advantageous towards what, I suppose. So it could be interpreted or construed to mean that ignorance is not bliss. I've always kind of disliked the phrase ignorance is bliss because I'm the kind of person who likes knowing things and gathering knowledge about the world around me. But to some extent, I can understand why people would think that ignorance is bliss, because oftentimes the information that we gather or the things we know are depressing. I was texting while driving the other day, and when I got home, I sent a text apologizing for the shortness of my text because I had been driving. And the person I'd been texting said, you know, that's fine. It kind of would have ruined their day if I had died. And because I'm the kind of person who assumes that people speak with absolute accuracy, I immediately began analyzing that statement and concluded it probably wouldn't have ruined their day because they probably wouldn't have found out about it that day. Who would have told them? Not me. I would be dead. In essence, the day of my death wouldn't have been ruined for them by my death because they wouldn't know about my death. Now, quite evidently, I'm taking an extremely frivolous example and completely blowing it out of proportion because that's what I do. So, what's my conclusion? Is ignorance bliss? I don't know. On one hand, the facts of life are depressing and not much given to creating feelings of bliss. But that might just be me being cynical. But on the other hand, not knowing stuff is lame, and being lame isn't blissful. Who wants to be lame? I'm not blissful when I'm lame. No. Anyway, I'm kind of glad that I'm doing a follow-up video on this because you can contribute your thoughts and then I can incorporate them into my next video. I would be most appreciative of your input. Wow, only 10 minutes of raw footage. That's like a record for me. Bye! Happy Memorial Day.